I think we have to be careful not to paint with broad brushes. I think there are folks who've said some noxious things, students who are trying to disagree in a country that has forgotten how to disagree. And that is evident in a very clear way. But I want to say this very clearly. I got to say this very clearly.
Do it.
It is, you can't imagine how unnerving it is that we just got access to these damn institutions.
Good point.
My dad couldn't go to Princeton.
Yeah.
Well, that's
My son was able to benefit a little bit from a regime that allowed him to at least to be considered, right? I consider myself, to call me an affirmative action hire or a diversity hire doesn't bother me. It says more about you than it says about me. Why am I a diversity hire? Because damn it, if you didn't have the criteria, you wouldn't even think about me. That says more about you than about me. Right? And so here we are in a moment, once again, where the nation thought it could act.
I don't really know if this is my last time, but what I know is I'm feeling just fine. My life is like a red carpet, and I'm feeling like the richest millionaire. This is my local mayor, and I'm the biggest star around here.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. More importantly, you saw the clip. This is, first of all, Google the book first so you can find it on Amazon. It's a dope read. Shout out to Dr. Thunder and Ike. Case closed. I kind of brought up this in there, and I'm using this video as a testament. For a lot of Black people in education or who want to, show the world that we are just as capable as everybody else, or white people, not everybody else, white people. That doesn't work. It's not working and it's not gonna work. Just for the record. That's what I gotta put out there. Because you're making assumptions that if you're educated, you would know there's really little factual evidence that this works. And people have tried before. The definition of insanity is to do something over and over and over again and expect a different response. And what I mean is, just because people go to a Ivy League school and they're Black, that doesn't put them on a good path for success in America. Normally, what you have is people who went to Ivy League schools, who talk on television from time to time, and they really look like an emasculated, effeminate, neutered human being who's trying to play the game. I did a video that had this clip of Charles Blow talking about he's tired of fighting the good fight, and if we do this and if we do that, they'll finally see me fighting this intellectual / spiritual, / play the game fight that, if I put the magic combination in, white people will open the gates to Valhalla and realize we're equals. I don't know how you got an education and you stupid enough to go about things like this. Listen, I don't care where you go to school. If you get your education, get your education. But if you really think going to an Ivy League school or a PWI is going to put you in a better place in society, then you got to show the proof. That it might put you in a better position to network, and maybe somebody at the school can hire you or whatever, or get you hired somewhere else. Maybe. But remember recently there were, I think, Jewish and Palestinian students in Ivy League schools protesting what's going on in Israel or Palestine, however you want to slice it, right? And there was this thing where they were saying the Jewish people who were donating to the school, or was it multiple schools? I don't remember. They were trying to get a list of the people who were protesting to make sure they couldn't get a job when they graduated. So I say that to say this. A lot of us Black folks who go to school, that's our initial thing when we go to school. People are not going to hire us when we get out. We don't even have to have a protest or be considered anti-Semitic. It's just that's what it is fresh out the gate. Thus, those resume experiments where you get a black person and you have their name, and then you get a white person, or not even a white person. You change your name to be more white or Caucasian, and you actually get a call back if you changed your name more often than you would if you kept your name. Speaking of that, I saw a clip on Instagram of a woman talking about this, where she has a quote unquote very American name, but she's black. And they saw her resume and they wanted to hire her. And I guess she did the talk over the phone, and they thought she was who she was. But no, she was in college. She was in college and they were doing a resume thing. And her professor told her, she should put her picture with her resume. And she's like, why would I do that? And he felt like her resume with her name was not fraudulent, but basically they need to see that you black to not hire you, because they gonna hire you by this resume with this name. So why don't you put a picture on it? And that's how she took it. Like, oh, you trying to set me up. So when I see stuff like this, I think to myself, I mean, how many black people in the suburbs have to deal with this? Like, I thought it'd be different. It is different. It is different when you go up a little bit in class. It is a little bit different, but it's still there. It's still there. Was it Henry Louis Gates got arrested at his own house and he's educated? Same premise, right? And the question becomes, you want all this access to these institutions, but these institutions aren't giving you access to anything. Just be honest. They're not giving you access to capital. They're not giving you access to create businesses. They're not giving you access to the networks, even in those places that you need. A lot of times, from what I've seen over the years, I've seen black athletes be able to leverage themselves more business from their alma maters. Their alma mater. Their for some people who don't know what that is, their college where they graduated from. Then actual students. You get what I'm saying? And maybe it's just because they put it out more, but that's how I've seen it. Because the academics don't get as much notoriety. So I would say now you're starting to you should have realized by now, just like when you hear the Asians, I want to go to Harvard, that's not helping them in the business world from what I see. You're not seeing more CEOs or more businesses of Asians. That's not what's happening. What you're actually seeing in America is people who realize, no matter what I do and how much I go up this, I'm a good black person stereotype lather to show the white masses that I'm good, you're going to wind up wasting your time. And for what? I'm not saying don't get an education. I'm just saying the approach seems a little bit delusional, or a lot of it delusional. But tell me what you think, man. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, I gave you everything I had.